Welcome to Project Dreadnest, where the files they tried to burn still speak, and what they buried refuses to stay dead. Project Dreadnest Case File, number 0147, The Thing Behind the Treeline. I didn't believe them at first. When the file landed on my desk, marked with black tape across the top and sealed with a red wax insignia, I figured it was another half-baked rural cryptid sighting. Kids in the woods, probably high, maybe a bear. But when I listened to the recovered voice recording shaky, breathless, and cut off with a sound that didn't belong in this world, I knew I had to dig deeper. This one isn't folklore. It's not some local legend passed around a campfire. This is real. And I don't think whatever did this is done yet. It started in a forgotten pocket of forest just outside Pinewater, a nowhere town in West Virginia you won't find on most maps. Two boys, Tyler and Mason, had grown up together. Same cul-de-sac, same middle school, same reputation for getting into trouble. By the time they were 16, they spent more time in the woods behind their trailer park than at home. You know the type. Looking for something to break, something to explore, something to make them feel bigger than this life had planned for them. That night, they didn't tell their parents where they were going. They just took off on their bikes right after dinner, rode until the sky bled purple and the streetlights flickered behind them. Tyler had heard about an old hunting trail that curved deeper than the rest of the forest. Local hunters said it was cursed. The kind of story that dares boys to be stupid. They left their bikes at the edge of the tree line, where the asphalt turned to gravel, and the gravel vanished into dead leaves. Mason had a flashlight. Tyler had a cheap folding knife and a backpack with some jerky and a Coke. The plan was simple. Get as far as they could into the woods, find the old hunting tower people said was rotting away in the thicket, and carve their initials into the wood to prove they'd been there. They didn't even make it halfway. According to the file, the trail was easy to follow at first. Tall grass was tamped down in places, and bits of crushed beer cans peeked through the dirt like breadcrumbs. They joked, laughed, did dumb impressions of horror movie monsters. But after about 20 minutes, the trees started crowding them in. Not gradually, just suddenly, like they'd passed an invisible wall where the forest got older and meaner. That's when Mason said the air changed. He described it like stepping into a sealed-off basement cold, still, heavy. The only sound was their breathing and the crunch of dead leaves. No birds, no wind, just the forest holding its breath. Tyler was the first to notice the smell. Said it was like something wet had been left out too long, meat going bad. The kind of stench that sticks to your teeth when you breathe it in. Mason wanted to turn back. Tyler didn't. Of course he didn't. The trail began to disappear, just faded beneath them, swallowed by the undergrowth. Trees gnarled over their heads, roots pushed up from the soil like veins under skin. Still, Tyler pushed forward. That's when they saw the clearing. It was sudden. 1 minute they were surrounded, claustrophobic in green and brown, and the next they were stepping into a round patch of open ground. No trees, no grass, just dirt smooth and dark, like it had been sifted. At the center was something that didn't belong. It looked like a tree stump at first. Black, twisted, maybe burned. But as they stepped closer, Mason realized it was too smooth, too deliberate. No bark, no rings. Just a blackened column, like something melted and hardened into place. Around it were bones. Dozens of them, clean, arranged in spirals and circles, like someone or something had been laying them out for years. Deer bones, bird bones, some too big to be animals found in these woods. Mason wanted to run. Tyler told him to take a picture. The second Mason raised his phone, the battery drained. 1 second it was full, the next dead. Tyler's flashlight flickered out too, even though he'd just put in new batteries. They stood there in the dark, and that's when they heard it. It wasn't. A shape moved just beyond the clearing. Neither of them saw it clearly. Just a silhouette between the trees, tall, lanky, but too smooth. No fur, no eyes. Just a long shape that pulsed with every step, like it was breathing wrong. It didn't make a sound. It just watched. They backed away, slow, not breaking the eye contact they couldn't confirm was even happening. The thing stayed at the edge of the clearing, unmoving. When they turned to run, it followed. Not through the dirt, not through the open space. Always just at the edges, always just behind the next tree. No matter how fast they ran, it stayed parallel to them, never closer, never further. The boys didn't talk. They didn't scream. Instinct took over. Get out. Don't look back. Just move. But they didn't get out. After 10 minutes of sprinting, the path never returned. There was no gravel, no trail markers. Just the same twisted trees, the same silent forest. Their phones wouldn't turn on. The flashlight sparked once and died. Then came the whispering. Not from around them, from inside them. That's how Mason put it. Like a voice behind his ears, under his skin. Not words, just suggestions. Fear, hunger, cold, one after another, like someone was cycling through the emotions like frequencies. Tyler dropped to his knees, started gagging. Said he could taste blood, even though he wasn't bleeding. Mason tried to pull him up, but Tyler started crying. Not because he was scared, because he said something was trying to take his name. That's the only thing he kept repeating. It's taking my name. Over and over, like a broken record. Mason slapped him across the face. That's when the sound returned. Birds, wind, a dog barking somewhere far away. And just like that, they were standing on the edge of the tree line again, like they'd never entered. Their bikes were where they left them. The sun had only just dipped below the horizon. They didn't speak until they got home. Tyler locked himself in his room for 2 days. Mason's hair turned gray at the temples by the end of the week. They didn't tell anyone until Tyler vanished. 3 nights later, his bedroom window was open. No forced entry, no footprints, no signs of struggle. Just an empty bed, a dropped phone, and a trail of black dirt leading to the woods. No one's seen him since. Mason's the one who contacted us. He didn't ask us to find his friend. He didn't ask us to stop whatever this was. He just wanted to tell someone before he forgot. Because that's the part I haven't mentioned. Every day since that night, he's been forgetting pieces. His own birthday, his mother's face. His name slips sometimes, like he's trying to remember someone else's. The thing didn't chase them. It didn't kill them. It planted something in them. Something still growing. We pulled the case file because last week, a new circle of bones was found in a different part of the forest. Not animal bones this time. Teeth, human, baby teeth, arranged in a perfect spiral around a blackened column. Mason's still alive, for now. But he's forgetting faster. And the last time he looked out his window, the trees were closer to his house than they were the day before. By the time I arrived in Pinewater, Mason was already half gone. His mother greeted me at the door with a hollow look. She didn't ask for credentials, didn't question why someone from out of town had shown up asking about her son. Maybe she'd already given up. Maybe she just hoped someone else would believe him. Mason was sitting on the couch, staring at the static of a dead television. The screen was off, but I could hear the white noise pouring out of him. That's the only way I can explain it. Not from his mouth, just from him. Like the frequency of his body was out of sync with everything else in the room. He didn't blink much. When he did, it was slow and deliberate, like it took effort. There was a notebook in his lap. He'd filled it with the same phrase, over and over. Don't forget, it's not done. He didn't remember calling us. I tried asking about Tyler. He flinched when I said the name. Not from fear, from confusion. Like he knew the name but couldn't place it. Like hearing a song from your childhood in a language you forgot. Then he started whispering something under his breath. I leaned in. I wish I hadn't. He said, I saw it open its mouth. It didn't have one. But I saw it. That was all I got before his mother told me to leave. She said the last time he talked to someone about that night, he didn't sleep for 3 days. She found him curled up in the bathtub, bleeding from his nose and ears, holding his notebook like a shield. I left the house with one goal: find the site in the woods, confirm the details, finish the file. I found Mason's journal from the week before Tyler vanished. The last entry was chilling in how ordinary it started. Talking about school, a new video game, something dumb a classmate said. But then it took a turn. Tyler's not right. I saw him at the edge of the woods last night. He didn't come to school today. When I called him, someone else answered. They didn't say anything, but I could hear trees moving in the background. Not wind, just moving. That page was smeared in black dirt. Same texture, same color as the clearing Tyler and Mason found. I tested it against other soil samples from the area later. That dirt doesn't exist anywhere else in Pinewater. The forest had changed. The path they followed wasn't just overgrown, it was gone. No matter how deep I went, I never found a trail. But the forest knew I was looking. I could feel it. I don't say that lightly. I've been to places that don't want to be found, but this was different. The deeper I went, the more time broke down. My watch stopped ticking. My phone wouldn't turn on. The birds vanished. Even my own thoughts felt muffled, like I was underwater. And then I found the clearing. It was exactly as Mason described, round, wrong, and still. At the center was the column black, smooth, oily like burned plastic. The spiral of bones had changed. Now they were arranged to form a crude eye with the stump as the pupil. At the outer edge were Tyler's shoes, perfectly placed, side by side, clean. I reached for them. Something cracked behind me. I turned, but nothing was there. Just trees. Too many trees. When I turned back, the shoes were gone. Then the whispering started. They say madness doesn't come all at once. But they've never been here. It wasn't a voice. It was hunger, memory, grief, rage. It spoke in emotions that didn't belong to me. I felt Tyler. I felt Mason. I felt others. Dozens of others. Children. Adults. Everyone who'd stepped into this place and been harvested. The thing didn't kill them. It didn't even chase them. It fed on them slowly, over time. First the memories, then the sense of self. It erodes identity like wind over stone, until all that's left is a husk that walks, talks, breathes, but doesn't remember who or why. I ran. I made it back to the road in less than 10 minutes. But I was bleeding from my nose. My eyes burned. My hands were covered in that black dirt, and I couldn't remember my own name for a full hour. Back in town, things had gotten worse. Mason had disappeared. His mother found his room empty, window wide open. Dirt on the floor, his notebook left behind, open to a new page. This one had just a single sentence written in a different hand. We are not in the forest. The forest is in us. We tracked Mason's last location to the edge of the woods. Security footage from a gas station showed him standing motionless at the tree line at 2:11 a.m. He stood there for 6 minutes without blinking. Then he turned, walked in, and vanished. We haven't found him. But the case file isn't closed. Because last week, a new boy in a nearby town 30 miles away woke up screaming about a man with no face standing outside his bedroom window. His parents found black dirt on the carpet. They found symbols drawn in crayon on his closet door. Symbols matching the pattern of the bone spiral. The forest is spreading. Not in miles, in minds. People are forgetting. First names, then birthdays, then faces. It's happening slowly, subtly, like rot in the walls of an old house. And by the time they realize something is wrong, they're already being hollowed out. We thought it was a creature. It's not. It's a presence, a parasite, a consciousness that lives in the space between trees and thought. It doesn't need to chase you. It just needs you to step close enough to look. That's the invitation. That's the handshake. And once it's inside, it waits. Years if it has to. I've seen it. I know what it wants now. Not bodies. Patterns. It arranges bones, memories, voices into shapes that don't make sense to us, but they do to it. Every spiral is a word. Every missing person is a sentence. It's writing something. Something big. Something alive. And we're the ink. Tyler is gone. Mason is gone. But they're still there. I've heard their voices in static. I've seen glimpses in my dreams' faces, stretching where mouths should be, eyes where ribs belong. They're trying to scream. But the thing has rearranged them. I don't know how to stop it. I only know one thing. There are more clearings now. More columns, more spirals. The forest is growing. Not in the ground, in us. Lock your windows. Stay out of the trees. And whatever you do, if you hear whispering in your own voice, don't answer. It means it's already inside. End of incident number 147. Project Dreadnest file closed pending further activity. Do not distribute without level 5 clearance. If this case disturbed you, good. That means you're still human. Like and subscribe before the next file finds you.